Hi guys, good morning. My name is Nadia Khalil. I'm a certified fitness and wellness coach, creator of the 14-day Fat Shred Challenge, 5-day juice detox, conveniently clean eating guide, the list goes on. So I help people learn about healthy living habits, ditching diets, and eating real food. So that's what I do. Sorry. And today I'm going to talk about 3 things that I want you guys to consider moving forward when it comes to junk food. So what I'm going to talk about today sits well with everyone. Ooh, Arabic. Awesome. So please share this out. I'm going to talk about something that everybody needs to hear in regards to food. Okay? So I have to tell you guys something. I drink 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day, sometimes 3 cups a day. Now, that's not exactly good, and I'm going to talk about why in my tip number 2. I am the kind of person that I literally cannot start my day without it. But this is the thing. So I'm doing a 5-day cleanse with my clients. I opened up the program. Registration ended last Friday. So part of this cleanse, I cannot drink coffee. So pardon me if I'm a little loopy, because I am usually driven by coffee, and that's not exactly a good thing, but at least I'm honest. So now what I'm doing is having some green tea, and I'm hoping it's going to help me. But this is the thing. This is why it's important to cleanse or detox at least once a year, because there's so much of what we eat and drink, coffee included, that actually just sits in our body. And if we don't get rid of it, it's really going to cause us to store fat. It's going to keep us fat. It's going to keep us tired. It's going to keep us from having energy. And it's going to hurt our health. So I want to talk about 3 things, that we should really consider when we're thinking about food. I work with a lot of people, guys, and during our wellness consultation, which is usually the initial consultation, we dive deep into what your relationship with food is really like. And a lot of times, obviously, my scope of business, people come to me if they're struggling with their weight. But 9 times out of 10, the clients that come to me with their frustrations of wanting to lose weight. And I can appreciate that. But after I dive deep into that assessment, I'm realizing how unhealthy their eating habits really are. And more than being concerned about being skinny, having them get skinny, I'm more concerned with their health. And you're going to learn a little bit more about why. I'm going to get into these tips, don't worry. But the truth is that it's great to be thin. Yeah, okay, fine, depending on your goals. But it's 10 times better to be healthy and to have your organs doing what they need to do in a healthy fashion. And your organs can't do what they need to do in a healthy fashion if we're eating all types of junk. Okay, so one of the key drivers of what I do with my clients is I teach them. I teach them because if they learn how to make healthier choices, and if they learn why and what's actually happening in their body, they're more likely to keep making healthy choices. If they don't, it's really easy for me to give you a diet plan and a workout plan, and I do that, and have you go off and follow it and lose weight. But if you don't really understand what's happening or why, it's kind of difficult to be committed to making these changes. All right, so that's really what I want. The point that I really want to get across today is how we can really consider what we're putting in our body, what it's doing, and maybe why we should start looking at food a little differently. Okay, so can you guys type 1 in the comments if you're ready for the first tip or the first important thing to consider? Awesome. So the first thing I want you to consider is that your body, let's go back to basics, right? Let's think in a natural sense. Your body is made naturally only to digest real food. So with all the man-made chemicals that we're getting in every day, with all the pollutants in our environment, with all the pesticides and stuff that's being sprayed on the food, it's really difficult for your body that's made to naturally digest only real food. It's really difficult for your body to digest something that it doesn't recognize. So we have to keep that in mind. And I tell this to my clients all the time. You want to be as cautious as you can be with what's in your control. Even the healthiest eaters on the planet need to detox and cleanse their body, because even our fruits and veggies, we're not exactly always 100% sure what's in our food or what's on our food in that case. So you got to remember something. When you're considering eating a lot of junk food, drinking a lot of soda, eating a lot of cake and cookies, a lot of that's going to get stored in your body simply because your organs don't know how to digest it. It's ingredients that aren't recognizable to your body. Does that make sense? Show me some hearts if you guys are following me here, because I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into that too. So you got to remember, okay, if you're struggling to lose weight, it could be because maybe you have stored fat that's really difficult for your body to digest. So keep that in mind. That's the first thing I want you to think. I want you to think about chemicals, not calories. So instead of obsessively counting your calories and obsessively thinking, oh, this is a 100-calorie bar, I could eat this instead of that 200-calorie cookie, what have you. I'd rather you ate the 200-calorie cookie if it's made of real ingredients versus that 100-calorie diet bar that has a whole bunch of dietary sugar and junk in it that your body can't even recognize. Because at least the cookie is recognizable to your body. At least the cookie has real ingredients that your body can digest versus the latter. So that's the first thing I really want you guys to think about. Okay, is what is your body really made to do? It's not made to digest a whole bunch of junk and man-made chemicals. It's meant to digest real food. Okay, so with that being said, you have to think, we have a whole bunch of digestive organs in our body. Now, think about it, right? So, for example, your liver. If you're eating a lot of junk food and a lot of things that your body doesn't recognize, your liver's going to go in overdrive. And your liver isn't even equipped to handle that kind of chemical overdrive. So what's going to happen? It's going to start storing fat. So you got to think, right? I'm thinking, okay, my body can only digest food that's natural. That's one. Two, my organs are not built to handle these kinds of chemicals. Your liver is like the main digestive trailblazer. So you got to treat it right. You know, you got to. I cleanse once a year, honestly. I cleanse once a year because it's too extreme to do it that often. And then I just try to really keep to a healthy diet, which is so totally doable because you don't have to restrain yourself or restrict yourself 100% of the time. You can easily implement an 80-20 rule where 80% of the time your choices are clean. And that in itself will help cleanse and detoxify your body. So you have to think about your liver, for example. It's going to store fat if it's in overdrive, trying to do something like digest food that it doesn't know how to digest. If it's in overdrive, it's going to just begin storing fat and it's going to begin malfunctioning. It's that serious. So that's what I really try to get across to some of you, because I think if you know that, once you start eating, you have a different thought process about the food that you're putting in your body, which leads me to my third important tip. And if you guys have questions, feel free to pop them in. Food is fuel. And too often in my consultations, I hear, I have an unhealthy relationship with food. I can't stop eating, blah, 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 blah. You don't have an unhealthy relationship with food. That is impossible. And I tell you that because you cannot have an unhealthy relationship with something that your body needs to thrive every day. Your body can only get vitamins and minerals from food. That is the only way that it can thrive. So it's impossible to have an unhealthy relationship with something that you need to live. Yes, absolutely. So I truly believe, and something I'm very, very big on honing in on in my consultations, is the mind shift. Because it's really easy to follow a plan. It's really easy to follow a diet and follow a workout. But your mindset on food needs to change. And it's not your fault necessarily. You could be undergoing a sugar addiction chemically in your body because that's what sugar does. And that's not an exaggeration. That's honestly, if you eat a lot of sugar, there's no way your body's not going to get addicted to it. It's like cocaine. Studies have proven that the side effects of eating too much sugar can produce those effects, and it will produce those effects. So shaking that habit, I've had clients cry and contemplate committing suicide because of not having enough sugar. That's not even me exaggerating. So think about that just for 1 second. You know, you're thinking you're having an unhealthy relationship with something when honestly there's a chemical addiction going on in your body, and you can't have an unhealthy relationship with it because it's just simple. You're just not eating what you're supposed to eat. But you have to have a wonderful relationship with food. It's impossible not to because you need it. You need it. And once you start considering that food is the fuel for your body, you start to create an awareness around your choices. For example, you can only get vitamins and minerals in your body from food. Your body cannot make them on their own. on its own. Your body cannot produce vitamins A, B, C, D on its own. It only gets it from food. So if you're not giving your body that, it's going to still be searching for it. You're still going to be having cravings and hunger and a lack of satisfaction because your body's not going to be satisfied until it gets everything that it needs. So when you're eating all these empty calories, like potato chips and donuts and all that, your body's not getting what it needs. So it's not only addicted to wanting more sugar, it's like, hello, feed me what I need so I can be full, so I can be satisfied. And those are the things that we need to consider, right? Because if we're thinking that it's so easy to say, oh, I can't stop eating, I have an unhealthy relationship with food. Of course you're going to keep eating. Your body still needs stuff. You haven't given it everything it needs. Of course you're going to keep eating because sugar is addictive and there's a chemical imbalance in your body now, and it's asking you for more of that because your body can't digest it, which is what I talked about in tips 1 and 2. So talk to yourself a little bit more about food. And I feel like this kind of thinking lets you believe that at least there's a light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to food, because it's not so much that you aren't in control. It's just more, what are you thinking? What do you know? For example, you're learning all this today. It's going to make a little shift in your mindset about food. It's inevitable. So think about that. The more you know, the more you're going to change what you choose to put in your mouth. I am a firm believer that we can all do better if we knew more. And I've seen it firsthand with my clients. You know, you guys can check out their stories. They're on my website, CoachNadiaK.com. At the top it says my rock stars. Those are all my clients. Not all of them, some of them. But the main thing that changes isn't just that they're losing weight. It's that they're changing the way they think and feel about food. And that shift is the most important because it's a beautiful thing. And eating healthy doesn't have to be gross. I don't eat food that tastes like nothing. I don't like tasteless, rubbery chicken. I don't like tasteless food. I don't. I grew up Hispanic, you know, and probably part of the reason why I had such an unhealthy relationship with food was my upbringing. And that's hard too. When you grow up seeing the people that influence you not make healthy choices, it's really difficult to adapt a different mindset. You have to unlearn a bunch of learned stuff, you know, and it's not impossible, but it's not easy. So it can totally be done. It's just a matter of starting and accepting that it's going to be hard and making little shifts here and there. If you want to get started and you just need some tips and some workouts, I have a lot of recipes on my website, CoachNadiaK.com. I also have a free fat burning guide that's all natural and holistic approaches. It includes tips, it includes workouts, all for free. That's at CoachNadiaKFreebie.com. You know, I'm always putting up free stuff on my site, free content. Go grab all of it. There's a lot of great ways to get started, okay? So don't you worry, you got this, and I will check in with you. So have a great day. Stay well.